What is up, guys? Welcome to my channel, the channel where we keep things real. And today we are going to be talking about the reality of the NMC CPT changes 2021. As from the 2nd of August, the NMC started rolling out the new CPT test, and the bad news is people have been failing. The new NMC CPT is divided into two parts. There is part A, which is the numeracy part. Basically, those are medication calculations, and there is part 2, which is the theory part. Unfortunately, people seem to be failing the numeracy test. They are not failing the numeracy test because they don't know the numeracy test, but because of the minor mistakes which they are doing, which are costing them the exam. So today in this video, I'm going to be showing you the minor mistakes which people make, so that when you go for the exam yourself, you are aware of those mistakes and you are diligent and make sure that you do not make those mistakes, because those mistakes are costing people their exams. Another thing, people have been asking, now that there is the new NMC CPT, what material am I supposed to read? I am going to be sharing with you the material that you need to use for your NMC CPT, and I'll also share with you some topics that you need to cover and know like the back of your hand, so that you go and ace that CPT. For now, let's get into it.
Alright, they asking for the queen. I'm a bad bitch, she's a savage. Look back while I twerk. No comparison. I'm a savage, yeah. Classy, bougie, ratchet, yeah. Sassy, moody, nasty, yeah. Acting stupid. What was happening? What was happening?
I'm going to start by telling you a brief overview of the new CPT. I've done a video which covers in details the new changes to the CPT. NMC CPT is a test which is designed to test your knowledge and ability to practice safely as a nurse in UK. They're simply assessing your skills and your knowledge. How much knowledge do you have? So what they want to do is they want to see whether you are able to practice as a safe practitioner here in UK. It is divided into two parts. There is part A, the numeracy test or medication calculations if you like, and there is part B, which is the theory part or clinical questions if you like. People have been failing the numeracy test because they have not been paying attention to detail. The overall pass mark for the CPT is 68%. However, the numeracy part, you're supposed to pass 90% of it, and the theory part, you're also supposed to pass 90% of it. In the theory part, there are 20 questions which relate to public health and safety, and they are the ones that you're supposed to pass at least 90% of them. So with the numeracy test, you're basically supposed to pass at least 14 questions out of the 15 questions, and with the theory part, you're supposed to pass at least 90% of the critical questions. Having worked at the School of Nursing for a very long time, I have conducted many drug assessments before. With the assessments that I've conducted before, I realized that most of the time the assessment would come to a standstill when you are now doing the administration of an injection, after the student has calculated the dose, come up with a dose, but does not know how to round off the dose. Am I rounding off to 1 decimal place, or am I rounding off to 2 decimal places? And if you make a mistake and round off to 1 decimal place instead of 2 decimal places, you are going to fail the exam. No matter how good the student performed, at the end of the day, if you fail that part where you fail to come up with the appropriate dose, you fail the assessment. I was having situations whereby the co-assessor says, no, but the students did so well, it's only this part, why don't you feel pity for her, you know, it's only a minor mistake. A minor mistake can cost a patient's life. So this is the same thing with CPT. Those minor mistakes that we make at the end, no matter how good you performed your CPT, a minor mistake can cost a patient's life. It's the same thing which is happening with this new CPT. People are failing the numeracy test because of those minor mistakes. So I'm going to give you an example of a question so that you see the mistakes that people are making.
So this is an example of someone who posted stating that they encountered a problem because they calculated and got 0.9 ml, but the answer was incorrect. So when we take a look at this, first of all, 0.9 mils is correct. But what this individual did was, instead of putting a point, which is a full stop, to denote the spacing, they used a comma, which is wrong. And in between the comma and 9, there is a lot of space there. And since the numeracy test is being marked by a computer, the computer will not recognize that and you will fail the examination. So this is what has been causing a lot of people to fail their numeracy test. And even if you look at the responses from people, like for example this one, it states that 0.9 mils, you are correct, but 0.9 mils that she stated is not correct, because for starters, Pearson View only realizes small letter m and l as the mils, and mils does not have s in the end. So at the end of the day, if you place your things like this, you will fail the examination. You see guys, such minor mistakes. Another example where people make mistakes. This question clearly states that give your answer in kgs to 2 decimal places. But when you look at the people's responses to this question, the majority of the people gave the answer 3.7 kgs. But 3.7 kgs might be a correct answer if you are required to round off to 1 decimal place. But the question clearly said 2 decimal places, meaning that the correct answer has to have 2 decimals after the point, just like that one who said it's 3.69. So these are the kind of mistakes that people make, not paying attention to such small details. You see, that's why people are failing the numeracy test. Such minor mistakes, guys.
So you can see guys from the examples that I've given you that it is a thin line between passing your exam and failing your exam. So my advice to you is, when you are going to the exam, make sure that you pay attention to detail. The calculations that they are giving you, they are simple and straightforward. But if you make that minor mistake, for example, if you are using your password, your phone password, if you use a lowercase instead of an uppercase, it will not accept the password. In your email, if you use a comma instead of a full stop, the email will not go, or the person, the intended recipient, will not receive the email because of that minor mistake that you made. So you really have to be diligent. You really have to pay attention to detail, especially in the numeracy test. 30 minutes is a long time for you to tackle just 15 calculations. Be careful with your spacing. Be careful with your units of measurement. The theory part is very simple. 2.5 hours for you to tackle 100 questions is a very long time. More so, it's just multiple choice questions. But people have been wondering, what material am I supposed to read for me to prepare for my CPT? And I'm going to be sharing the material with you. And guys, don't forget to put your comments down below, like, subscribe, and share. Now, let's get into it.